What's up, everybody? This is Edward back with a video. I'm gonna have to be real careful how I talk about this topic because I know how motherfuckers are. Um, and folks like to use political correctness on certain topics as a weapon. So I'm gonna be very careful with this. So, I was listening to a video just now, and this will not be a long video. I was listening to a video just now of a channel that I'm kind of scoping. And pretty much they would talk about Corey Holcomb and something that Corey Holcomb said when it's healthy to have a child, like how young a woman can be. And this dude, and the number he gave was a low number. I'm not even gonna lie. And the dude kind of blew the shit up to make it like compare Corey Holcomb to R. Kelly, and to say what he said was extreme and bizarre and oh my god and blah 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 blah, and why didn't Darlene and other co-hosts. And this dude has made quite a few videos on Corey Holcomb, so he's on the Corey Holcomb beat. And obviously, it's the game, it's getting views. Corey Holcomb is definitely a searchable topic, and he has a right to have his opinion. I'm not here to say, it is what it is, but this is what I would say. And I looked at the comments of the video. It's not a long video, and people are doing. And the angle that I really want to have on this is one thing we don't consider is physical age, emotional age, psychological age. Those things will be very different. And then you got to look at the social politics of like a situation and a topic. And the thing is, you have people, and the reason why you hear people saying shit like this is because there's a lot of black people that believe it. You have people like when Rebecca Lynn Pope said that that's a 36-year-old girl. I want y'all to really understand like what she was saying. And she said that when she was emotionally upset, which means she was true. Like whenever somebody says something when they're emotionally compromised, motherfucker, I consider that the truth. That is the truth as far as I'm concerned. Whatever you say under the influence, whatever you say that's when like your governor to tell you what you shouldn't say, that's what you really think. And so people can try to walk the shit back, and I may like placate them and walking it back, but understand that that's who you are. And I don't take that. I don't walk you back. In my head, I'm like, okay, that's where you really at on it. Thank you for telling me the truth. And I've heard this before. I've heard other dudes that I will not name say that if a chick ain't 21 years old, then you're a quote unquote pedophile. I've heard people say as high as 25 years old. I've heard even SWP have a problem with a guy like Kevin Samuels being 51, dating a female that's like between 25 and 30. And people can have their opinions. But see, when your opinion can actually have a real detrimental effect on other people, because with a topic like that, really IQ goes out the window and it just becomes purely emotional. Let's take R. Kelly for example. Now, I often say that most black men, when it comes to really checking black women, are bitch made. And I'm talking specifically the niggas that try to act like they men. They like to judge other men against their manhood. Those niggas are usually the most bitch made niggas when it really comes to holding the line to what is right and just, because a lot of them, when it comes down to it, are led by women. Their sense of their North Star for what morality is comes from females, and I'll prove it. How many women go out of their way to say, I fuck with R. Kelly, I don't give a fuck about what anybody says? And for anybody that likes to talk shit about why R. Kelly's been out of jail and still makes money, there's only one demographic that really still supports R. Kelly. White people don't support R. Kelly. Non-black people don't support R. Kelly. Black men don't support R. Kelly. There's only one group that R. Kelly can still get spins. Not now, recently, but up until maybe like a year, really like before COVID. You listen to the Christian channel, the Christian radio station, Step to the Damn Beloved Show. You'll listen to any of the oldies channels where they'll play new stuff that kind of has an oldie feel. That Step shit will still play. And we know who's driving that. We know what advertising dollars driving that. There's no need to pretend we don't know. I'm not even going to say the group. We all know who it is. And women will go out of their way to say, I fuck with R. Kelly, damn what you say. Damn what you say. And it's not a small number. I'm not going to say it's the majority, but it's not a small number. And you don't really see women or men really squeeze when black women, well, I just gave it away, for saying that shit. Not like they'll call a black woman a pick-me or whatever. You don't see that. You don't really see that anger. Because a lot of black women really don't give a shit. They do the same thing these white bitches do with Me Too. They make a big stink of it for political gain. But ultimately, the amount of fucks they really have to give, as they would have you believe that it is. Not like they try to sell it to us. This just gives them an ability to scream, yell, holler, and they know people are gonna listen because they know it can move politics on it. Attention and resources for crying and hollering. And I know Mr. Palmer mentioned that Tasha K said even the parents should go to jail for the R. Kelly situation. So I'll give her credit for that too. But truth be told, that's not going to happen because that's not what type of society we're in. We're in a society, shout out to Justin Marks for the $2. Make sure y'all support the Cash App as well. $ Allen Wonder. We live in a society where, look at what happened. Lovely T.I. covered very deeply what happened with Nicki Minaj's brother and that girl for 2 years. They got the transcripts of exactly what happened. And guess what? It happened to her mama. Look at the girl's life. It wasn't for her. Yvonne Van Zam has covered these things. This is what doesn't get talked about. Right? This is what doesn't get talked about, what doesn't get acknowledged. And this is one of the main reasons this shit still goes on. You know, this video ain't the only thing that kind of annoyed and triggered me. Also, O'Shea did a video, and shout out to O'Shea, where he mentioned that the Johnny Blaze chick, she's back, but she got sex trafficked. And I'm rolling my eyes because I'm like, yo, this ain't fucking taken. Well, you can just be snatched. And motherfuckers will say that I'm being unsensitive. Man, fuck that. You got females that they want fast money. I'm not saying this always happens, but a lot more times than what people are willing to admit, you got bitches that want fast money. They can't be told shit. And they can't wait to sexually exploit themselves. You see that shit, and I'm not even just talking about black women. You see that shit on TikTok. You see that shit on social media today. You see that shit on the money's too easy and it's like selling dope. So they gonna do whatever they need to do. And David Carroll was absolutely right. A lot more women are selling pussy on their own without a dude present than folks really want to admit to. Because in America, we want to pretend the shit ain't happening while it's happening. We supposed to accept the shit is happening, but not say nothing. But at the same time, pretend it's not happening at the same time. All these women used to be strippers. These women are not being kidnapped and forced into stripping. These women are doing that on their own. They are walking their ass in that motherfucker and signing up. And usually if they do it and they're underage, like they're 16, most of the time, and look, I'm not saying that that's not the fault of, obviously legally, if it get caught, the The people are accountable for it. And if they want to legally call it sex trafficking, well, that's up to the owners. That's on them. So I'm not here to cape for none of that shit. But at the same time, we're not going to pretend that these females are not out. We're not going to pretend that women are not out here walking in these places and they're not out here signing up and then they're not actively lying. Like, quite frankly, it should be considered. Like, I've never understood. I'm not like, okay, let me say this and let me be very clear here. I can accept, but let's keep commercial for a second. Okay, I can accept that a business owner, if you own a strip club and you are hiring people that are under the age of 18 to strip, well, regardless of if they lied, the lead attorney said it great. The lead attorney said they could have a $3,000 fake ID. They could have everything, and basically lie their ass off, and you still, you take somebody's liquor license, you hold them accountable. Or somebody comes in with a fake ID. I can accept that you hold the establishment accountable for that. But at the same time, and I may not say it should be a felony, but it damn sure should be a misdemeanor, that if you do that as a minor, you should be caught up for fraud. If you can be proven and caught that that's what you did, you should go down for fraud. And that should be, I would say, at least a misdemeanor. That needs to be on your record that you did that. And so I would say that needs to be on your record. I'm not saying if that can be proven that you lied, that needs to be on your record. And I would argue, and this may be fucked up. This may really be controversial. I would admit this, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to stand on it. I would argue that establishment should have the right and the ability to sue the parents. They can't sue the kid because the kid is a minor. They should be able to sue the parents. And that's fucked up. I know it is, but I think that should be on the table. And I'm not saying it should be easy, but they should be able to sue the parents. Because quite frankly, them going out there like kamikazes, it can't be that these motherfuckers can try it, and it's all good. You go and you buy cigarettes, you try to do some shit as a minor, that shit should come back on your parents. It really should. It really should. It really should. Because there's got to be pressure on these kids to not do that shit. That's an opinion. That's an opinion. That may be a weird opinion. Y'all can let me know what y'all think. But I think in any situation where it's like a minor doing something and they go out of their way to get some fake shit, whoever's their custodial parents have to pay for that shit. But that's just my opinion. But going back to the shit, when you look at what's going on sexually with these motherfuckers that's under 8, these folks that are under 18, they are fucking like no tomorrow. A lot of them. And look, they're fucking people that's their age. And at the end of the day, we need to stop playing games like women are not being coerced into having sex. They're doing this shit because that's what they want to do. Like, for real. And we gotta stop pretending that motherfuckers are being like women. We live in this world where we think women just don't want sex, and the only way girls, young women, whatever, are getting giving sex to these dudes unless these dudes are coercing them or some shit. We gotta get out of that bullshit. But anyway, Corey gave a very low number. It was still a teenager though, and here's the thing. About what Corey said. And dude was like, oh man, I can't believe he said that. That's just wild. It's bizarre. So what I would ask this guy, 2 questions. Question number 1, because we know black men didn't create these laws. Black people didn't create these laws. What is the in a lot of these states, what is the age of consent? I would ask him that first. What is the age of consent? Oh, are you saying, I just changed it from 16 in New York. Oh, are you saying that? Look, man, I'm not saying shit. I'm saying, what is the age? Not saying that you should be fucking 16-year-olds. What is the age that these white men, these laws that these white men put on the books? What is the age? What is the age of marriage, which is actually lower? Okay, so let's establish that somebody said that this shit was legal and it wasn't a black man. So let's cut the bullshit. That's the first thing I would say. And that's not me saying to justify anything. What I'm saying is I'm establishing a framework here. That's number one. And I know that's not necessarily statutory rape, all that, I get that. But the reason those laws were like that was because the life expectancy, these laws are very old. That's why they need to be updated. I will admit they need to be updated. It's because the life expectancy was not the same. So all of this bullshit about women being young and 30 years old and shit is only like that because you got a whole bunch of lazy, stupid ass motherfuckers. Because if you go overseas, folks are not allowed to be that stupid for that long. That's some shit you really only hear black people saying in America. On some, you in your 30s and you a tween, so you BGS talks about that all the time. So, and then if you look at when your grandmothers had kids, anyway, there's a reason why a lot of these the men are dying first. Part of it is life expectancy, but part of it is they usually the older person. But anyway, that's the first question. The second question I would ask is, when are these women having a period? When are these females having a period? And so if you when is the healthiest you can have a kid? You do not have your technically it's not 18 to fuck like your peak years, fertile years, because we learn this in sex education. It is not from like 18 to 35. That's not what the fuck it is. But see, the problem is obviously the legal age of consent is 18, and that's the law. And I'm not saying I don't agree. I do agree with that. Because quite frankly, I'm not fucking females that are really under 23 years old. If that. Usually I have a 10-year window. So at 35, it'd be 25. That's me personally. So I'm not here to try to massage this shit. And I don't give a fuck what the laws are, even if they weren't the same overseas. I'm not doing that. I'm just not. Which, by the way, the laws are not the same everywhere overseas. And if you look at these people that are native to those countries and talk to motherfuckers from Nicaragua and shit like that. But my point is, now this is a dude that was saying this too, by the way. But my point is, a woman is sexually active, not sexually active, but they have the ability to have a kid once they start to, have a period. That's the biological crap. So yeah, biological shit. So yes, I understand what should be done. I understand where we live now. I understand the time. So I get all that. And I'm not saying I disagree with that. But this like fucking outrage, you can still say there's no reason for a motherfucker to even think about wanting to fuck somebody under the age of 18 and still understand the science and why that is. Because every country is not like that. So if you're dealing with people that are tribal to certain countries, I'm not saying the dudes should go on nowhere and do some shit. That's all I'm saying. And by the way, most dudes don't. And dudes don't. They stay their ass right here. So let's call that what it is. And so what happens is, why am I talking about this? Because you can't even because my thing is, you can't have a conversation, something like this, where you have women that are girls, whatever you want to call it, that are sexually active like a motherfucker, and then nothing's being talked about. People want to talk about, oh, well, they're being trafficked and they're being this. Well, you can't even have a conversation, because if you don't have a conversation in the way somebody thinks you should have it, then all of a sudden, motherfuckers want to sit there and throw shit. Oh, you this, you that, you this, you that. When the main motherfuckers talking that shit usually be the main ones that are close to doing that shit. And then you got people that want to use that as some kind of weapon or shit. Because if they ain't got no argument they can make, then they want to sit there and say, oh, you this, you that, you this, you that. And so when you look at what Corey was saying was actually not, I may not say it was correct, but the shit was not like so far out there beyond the pale. And then when people want to say, oh, well, he being like R. Kelly, let's keep this real. There's a lot of your black women, and I'm not saying they ain't even like a real solid minority. It's a good amount. They support R. Kelly. Remember, R. Kelly was getting bailed. Who do you know black women bailing out of fucking jail? Going out of their way to do that. Like, let's keep this 100. You won't see these niggas really say that. You ain't never seen no video saying any black bitch that support R. Kelly deserves to die. You won't hear that. You won't hear that. Because look at what you doing to these little girls. You would not hear that. Because you know what? When it comes down to it, these niggas ain't know the truth for shaming the devil, no matter what the fuck it is. They like to jump on R. Kelly because it's easy, because it's sanctioned to try to as long as you don't get in the realm of holding people accountable that needs to be held accountable, and you just make it like it's a black man thing, it's sanctioned. And again, this dude that I'm talking about ain't a bad guy, but I'm like, dude, you really need to think about that. Because when I see dudes, and shout out to Dennis Sperling, because he was talking about some shit, not about this, but some dudes that got their shirt off and got guns, talk about you do something to my daughter. I'm like, nigga, a lot of black on black violence is justified by protecting females. That gynocentric shit. And so I really just wanted to point that out, because a lot of things that dudes try to use to attack other dudes is on some shit like this. And then a lot of times those be the main niggas that be on some shit like that. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out because, you know, folks got to really be careful about trying to, oh, well, I just can't believe he said that. I'm like, nigga, it is what it is. You know, I'm not here to tell, but don't act like these women are being coerced into doing all the crazy shit that they're doing. They're doing that shit because that's what the fuck they want to do. And again, I'm not defending jack shit, but I also know that these women ain't being, a lot of these women, a lot of this bullshit, like, people always want to talk about, oh, well, I got sex trafficked. I want somebody to do a documentary about how the American woman is getting sex trafficked. That's really, I want to know. I want to know how you really getting, because, you know, they talk about all these black girls in particular, all these black women, they're just being, I want to know how that happens. I'm curious. Now, we know drugs, and when you want drugs, you open to manipulation. Yes, I understand that. But outside of that, I want to know how, I really am curious. Yeah, I'm really curious, because when you say sex trafficking, that always has a male and like a man do, like that, you know, please. Most of these, and to be honest with you, what they won't tell you is most of these women are being pimped by other women because they can fly under the radar. I told you all about that. And it's being done in plain sight. You know why? Because if it's a woman, don't nobody really care. Which tells you that don't nobody really care about the fact that it's happening. They just want to make this just a political thing to make up, like, you know, feminism 4.0, make up an excuse for trying to be like, look at what's going on. Women are in danger. Give us more rights. Give us more extra rights, extra resources under the guise of, quote unquote, protection. That's the hustle. And you got dumbass dudes that fall for that shit. And I'm not the one, because I've seen some shit. And that's one thing. When I've been overseas, and I can tell you, I know what the shit really looks like. Like, you know, when you in the third world, that's a different type of game. I know when you in like luxury, and then you go like maybe a couple miles and then you drive through, man, please. And I just don't like when motherfuckers use these goddamn words that are designed to take people out of their objectivity. I just don't like that. We need to protect. No, the biggest thing that women need to be protected from is themselves. Because we all know what it looks like when you try to tell a female some shit and they like never die alone. They want to call when they in the jam. because it's time they want bailout. Protection ain't permission based. It's not supposed to be. Anyway, see what the fuck y'all talking about. Well, yeah, Rebecca ain't said that was some old shit Rebecca said. But my point is, when you calling a 36-year-old woman a little girl, what you're essentially saying, I mean, this is how you know a lot of black women buy into a lot of the white supremacist ideology, because they use the same talking points. You know, when you're a black woman, you're a little girl until you're 40. When you're a black male, you know, you a man as soon as you turn 10. You right, JR. Okay, I may check it out, Lowcast. Well, all these women used to strip. Like, most of these women used to strip nowadays. And then, like I told you about the Chloe Bailey, music video, I saw a post, like, it was not a post, it was a fucking article that somebody was trying to write. No, the article was in NPR, so it wasn't just some, blavity bullshit. And they talking about, oh, you got to give Chloe Bailey, basically giving her props for booty positivity. And I'm like, what the fuck is booty positivity? What are you talking about? Like, this isn't like the 90s where black women were kind of low-key shamed for having an ass, and white women, like, this is post, what? But this is the bullshit. And, Chloe Bailey's going to have to do the most. She's going to have to show skin and do all that, because I already know what they're telling her. They're telling her this is what's selling. I'm just ranting right now, Obsidian. Obsidian, what are you talking about? Because I kind of kept this shit vague, kind of on purpose. Hold on, I'm scrolling through it to see what we're talking. I understand that. Okay, Obsidian, because I get it. I get why you may be kind of confused, because this is vague as hell. So I get it. I made this vague as hell kind of on purpose. So let me reorient this shit a little bit. So basically, let me reorient this. So basically, there was a guy that has been covering Corey Holcomb in the 5150 show. I haven't watched this show in a long time. Right. And Corey said that, the science, and keep in mind, I'm not saying this is correct, but he said that scientifically the healthiest time to have a baby is between, like, basically it's under the age of 18, and I'll give you, it's not like pubescent, but it's under the age of a 16 as well. And then the other guy has said, oh, well, this is R. Kelly. Oh, well, I can't believe he said that, blah, 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 blah. And so my thing is this. And I said there's the science, and then there is the social political aspects. And so my point is, if you, so here's where this kind of coincides with what you saying about Mercedes Moore, Johnny Blaze, all of that. This shit does not start at 33 years old. This shit starts when they're teenagers. When you look at Amber Rose, Cardi B, all like Blue Jasmine, what do they all have in common? What do all these women have, most of these women have in common? What they say is they got started very early, like 14 or 15 That's even as early as 13. That's out of their mouth. Amber Rose said she started stripping at 16 years old, which means she did not just walk in that motherfucker one day at 16. That is not how that works. We know how it's not how it works. Cardi B said the same thing. Blue Jasmine said the same thing. Both of them are out of the Bronx. And we all know this shit starts usually when they're teenagers. That's where it starts. That diesel shit starts generally when they're under the age of 18. And sometimes, like, as far as when it starts. I'm not absolving nobody of anything. I'm saying that's where it starts. So I'm saying because you can't have an honest conversation, not you, but I mean people, because people want to throw all these words out here and accuse you of shit because they want to make an argument, that you can't really stop that out of a real conversation at the source. And I gave another example as to a lot of these parents of these females. Remember, Mercedes Moore, technically, even though their parents weren't together, she had access to both of them. And so these parents are not really held accountable. And we can argue and debate to the degree of accountability they should have. But what happens is they're just allowed to be out there. And then everybody, the same society that lets them be out there, because people can't be shit, it's the same society, and men get lumped into it, that we should be accountable. Every man, like you or other people that don't even think about doing shit like that, should be held accountable to, at the end of the day, what these females want to do. And if somebody tells them to do nothing, do something different, they don't care. Just like how PJ Washington wanted to blame society for his dumbass choice with dealing with Brittany Renner. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Now that I've reoriented it a little bit. And as far as you, I've even heard like, if so now 30-year-old, 47 years old, and see, that shit can actually stick. So that's where, yeah. So that's what I'm talking. That's all I'm talking about. And it's bullshit. And you got dudes that go along with that too, because they want any opportunity to attack other men. So, and we know black men didn't make these fucking laws. But to sit there and act like just pulling something out of fucking left field, like left field, yeah, that's on you. Anyway, that's not accurate. That's what I'm saying. And I really don't like when people they kind of do the most for views like that on a topic like that. Because then if this same person were to sue somebody, Corey Holcomb, now people want to get upset and get mad. And I'm going to tell you, that's what it's going to take. But Corey did say he did give that number. So, I mean, I'm not going to act like he did it. And I'm just pointing out that you see men do this. And this goes back to what I was talking about with my video, how if you like somebody, it's not a standard, but when you don't like somebody, you hold people to standards that you wouldn't hold. You overhold people to standards that you don't like. And black men got to stop doing that. So I'm kind of just tying this together. All right, let's see what y'all talking about now that I've stopped. Yeah, but Obsidian, the thing about that, no, that you keep saying don't date them, problem solved. No, the problem is not solved, because all black men, from a social political standpoint, have to pay a price for what these women do, because they never say, you said it yourself. They don't say specifically the men that they fuck with. They say all men. And that's used as a weapon against all men and our collective image. So the problem is not just solved by not dealing with them. Well, I took my Bluetooth out and I don't have my connected headphones with me. No, I don't have my phone on my leg. If I have my phone on my leg, my phone would fly the fuck off. I mean, I could have one of them arm things. But another thing too is my phone is having an issue with StreamYard. Otherwise, I just put it on StreamYard. But Archer, that just shows you. That just shows you. That just shows you like where we are. Where it's not science doesn't mean shit. It's really about the social political shit. Well, yeah, and the thing is now you have a situation where the entire infrastructure is populated by stripper bitches. That's the entire infrastructure now of most of these women now that are out now are stripper bitches. That wasn't always the case. What up, AM1? Y'all make sure y'all um subscribe to AM1's channel for real. Well, Sierra is a I won't say Sierra's a thought, but the problem is Sierra is one of the see the problem with Sierra is I'm not letting her off the hook, but she's a product of where the society is. See, Sierra, there is no real, high class black female image out there like that. Like this is what the standard is, and this is what we get, and y'all don't get it because y'all are low class. So Sierra is gonna go with what's fun. Because at the end of the day, what's the consequences to it? And that's where you are. So she's gonna that's what it is. That's where it is. And she's an example of that's where the culture is. I mean, you had women actually talking about what she did at that place was a classy twerk. There's no such thing as a classy twerk. A twerk is a mating call. That's what that is. That's what that is. And you can't have it both ways. You can't. Well, white women, not really. No, they don't. No, they don't. They don't really have it both ways. Not like y'all want to say they do. No, they don't. It doesn't have to come directly out. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the general society as to how it is applied. You want to make an argument directly on them. It is seen that these women have to do this because they're not protected. That is what the general consensus is, and that is black men's fault. That's my point. Also, I'm arguing this from a cultural standpoint, where you got women that are women and this is what you do, to the point where you got older women divorcing their husbands. I mean, come on, man. I mean, you're making an argument too linear. That's not really what I meant for this to be. I mean, for real. And it wasn't just, there was multiple people that said that. A class. I'm like, are you stupid? I mean, for real. But shit like that tells you, and people would say, well, it's just on social media. No. Like, people are living out what they see on social media. Social media is just like TV. It's like when you say, well, it's just on TV. People are doing that shit in real life. What are we talking about? Is just on people acting the shit out. You could say that, Obsidian. You could say that. That's what they used to say about gangster rap too. Oh, well, it's gonna burn itself out. And here we are. So I mean, whatever. And even if I agree with you that it's not a groundswell, you wait till this bullshit gets thick. You're starting to see a lot more people talk about the economy being fucked up. You wait till this shit really gets bad. It's gonna be a lot more. And shout out to David Carroll. That's the thing David Carroll was talking about in the rabbit hole. One thing is, and I agree with it. Mercedes Moore, man, please. She was selling pussy. And it's a lot more of these chicks that are part. See, and that's one thing that kills me about overseas shit. Because I just didn't want to say it. I didn't want to go that far with it. But there's a reason why Backpage and all these people are popular. And I'm gonna tell you something. If you look at some of these thought posts, these channels, these Instagram pages, you'll see a lot of them that go out of their way to say I don't do like personal visits. You know why that is? Because a lot of these women do be doing that shit. A lot of these women do be doing those physical visits. Shout out to the video with mediocre tutorial reviews. A lot of these females are selling. They are selling because they know they could get like thousands of dollars from it, especially if they can get a hold of some of these rappers that they got money and they willing to throw away. These motherfuckers are selling, man. I'm telling you, and all of this stuff works together to kind of degrade the shit to where what used to not be like what was wild back in the day is like normal now. And a lot of people don't really understand that. So people will sit there and say, well, it's not that big of a deal. And then all out of nowhere, it's like it's everywhere. Well, how does that happen? Because it's a much bigger deal than people like give it. Give it. I mean, we're 10 years into this shit. This ain't no new shit. But like real fucking talk though. Dudes don't need to go overseas to trick. Dudes are tricking here. And I don't even want to get in that argument because truth be told, if you think that the only reason why black men are going overseas is a trick, I mean, there's nothing I can really say to you. There's nothing I can really say to you. I'm gonna keep that all the way fucking 100. I went overseas. The first time I went overseas was because of my corporation. No, I hate when motherfuckers do that. Like for real. And that's why shit like that I don't like when people joke about that shit. Because niggas are out here, niggas are really out here losing their fucking mind. Oh, I just can't stand. Like niggas are literally waking up and fucking tired of dudes crying about that shit. Like, for real. I'm dead ass tired of that. You want to talk about, and here's what's crazy. Here's the craziest thing about it. Y'all worried about niggas tricking overseas where you got women that are charging thousands of dollars in the United States of America. Maybe if more dudes actually went overseas to do it and didn't do it in the US, that wouldn't happen. But because y'all want to play like y'all better than some nigga, like seriously. And I mean to be told, you a trick on the back end. Where you think the financially transmitted disease shit comes from? Like straight like that. You got. You got. So any nigga out here talking about, oh, well, you a trick, nigga. You got it. That chick can do whatever the fuck she want to do. You can't see your kids. And if you don't pay, you going to jail. Or you losing your license. That's what you did. And these will be some of the main motherfuckers calling somebody else a trick. I'm like, nigga, you, like, I ain't even talking about anybody in particular, but I'm just saying. What are you talking about? And I'm not trying to be an asshole, you know, because I understand people get hemmed up with the child support. But nigga, most of y'all didn't have kids because y'all wanted to have them kids. That shit just came up on you like that. Because if you wanted to have the kids with the bitch, you would have married the bitch. Or you off said no and said, I'll just take your money. Y'all are the biggest tricks. Because that is what really drives these bitches to act the way they act. But y'all get on here talking about what somebody doing with their fucking money. And y'all got this need to like say you better than somebody. The guys think, no. Because that's not the only thing, Obsidian. Guys think it's better here. It's not even about, I'm not telling nobody what to do. If they think it's better here, they think it's better here. But I understand a lot of dudes don't travel because they don't got the money to, and they're afraid. Those are two biggest reasons, generally. And so what they try to do is they lie to themselves. And then they deal with the same hood rats that they completely. This is why when you said don't deal with them, I understand that. Because what I'm starting to understand is a lot of dudes that talk the most shit about black women, if you really ask them, do you even have the ability to not deal with them if you don't want to? And I'm starting to realize a lot of these dudes, they don't have an ability to not do that. They're in whatever situation that black women are the only thing around them. And they can't get away from them. They're in situations where they literally have to take whatever black women do. They can't get away from them. A lot of these dudes, they really don't have a choice. And they haven't built that choice up. This is why when you say, well, why are you even only dating? They don't really have an answer for that. So a lot of these dudes, what they'll do is they'll basically create these reasons why they do shit. And then they want to base those reasons against other dudes. So to them, only reason dudes go overseas is to trick. Because in their mind, that's true. That's not really true. Because if you're going to trick, if you're really going to be like that, then, man, honestly, the shit is starting to get to the point where you don't even need to go overseas to do that. If you're really going to do it, if that is your sole concern, y'all really think the majority of black men that trick are overseas. That's not true. The majority of black men go in the strip clubs and do it there. And that's the thing that kind of annoys me about that argument. People make it like, well, if you in the United States, then you a better nigga. No, you're not. I'm not saying you're better if you go overseas either, but no, you're not. That's just what you choose to do. Why are anybody worried about what somebody else does to that level? I'm just calling out the hypocrisy. I got this chick, I got that chick. And usually these bitches be ugly as fuck half the damn time. The ones they talking about. I've seen it. I mean, nobody should have an issue with, you shouldn't have an issue with a dude with a passport. That's retarded. Like, the fact that you even have to say that. Niggas be like, well, I just have issues with niggas. Like, imagine, like, nigga, that's why niggas never say it. Like, nobody don't care. Because it doesn't even affect you. It doesn't even affect you. I can understand game niggas selling game. So that affects their money. Like, I don't get that. So we make these arguments that are like waste. Like, niggas are really out here worrying about what somebody does with their money. You niggas care more about what somebody does with their own money than a nigga fucking another nigga. Like, seriously. What do people say when it comes to gay shit? Oh, well, what a nigga does in his bed is his business. But apparently, how much it costs, oh, that shit matters. That's crazy to me. What's up, Sexy Red? Well, I get it. I mean, I don't care what they do. But what I give a damn about is when people go out of their way to talk all this bullshit, like they trying to make a good faith argument when they're not. A lot of these, and that's another thing too, a lot of these niggas not tricking with money, but they bartering with like marijuana and shit. Man, I know what you slum niggas do. Y'all be trying to act like y'all don't be like niggas really be out here like niggas, oh yeah, man, I gotta be a car with all these rims and all of that. You tricking. Why? Because I know the niggas that don't need to do none of that shit and still get mad buns. They just show up with a white tee and they fucking. I know those niggas, because you can't tell them niggas shit. Because they like, why should I do shit when I'm going to get the bitches I want anyway? That's the mentality they have. So I know when niggas go, I'm not saying you can't like nice things, but I know when you want these niggas, I got to be fresh to death all the time. I got to be dripped out. Even when I'm going to the grocery store, I got to, I got to, my car always gotta be clean, and I gotta be in a BMW, even though that bitch is 10 years old, but I got some rims on it though. I know what you're doing. You're tricking with extra steps. Shout out to Rick and Morty. It's tricking with extra steps. You not slick. And those will be the main niggas that'll come and try to tell somebody else what they doing. It's like the only difference is them dudes that made peace with who they are. You the one that's fronting. That's all it is. And black men have an insecurity complex when it comes to money. Obsidian, this is why dudes always get mad at you when you say, well, dudes should pay for everything because that's what a man does. They don't like that. You know why? Because if you have that ability to do it, then the women may find value in that. And so you got dudes that they want the market, they want women's expectations to be as low as possible because a lot of them niggas are afraid of economics. They're afraid to make money. So when you terraform the rules to match what most other dudes do, it's a problem. This is why we got that 50-50, 100% argument all the time. They like, and a lot of these niggas like to argue, but they don't like to directly have the direct conversation. They like to argue shit from an indirect standpoint so they don't never reveal their cards. So they got like these two barriers so you can't really see where they're coming from. And I know you see it too. You just be wanting to argue with them. Me, I'll blast through that shit and be like, no, let's get to what the heart of what the fuck you saying is. Like, cut the bullshit. So niggas, like, I get tired of that argument. Like, I really do. Niggas talking about, oh, well, you tricking, you doing this, you doing this. Shut the fuck up. Like, for real, nigga. And I'm just talking about anybody in general that would say that. Like, for real. Like, I don't give a fuck. Niggas are really out here, oh, I just, we just like, fuck, like, shut, like, that's why I'm just like, shut the fuck up, okay? Stop having a period over what a nigga does with his money. Because a lot of y'all do dumber shit than that. Yeah, man, I'm just tired of these niggas. Shut the fuck up, nigga. Like, for real. Niggas out here waking up in cold sweats because niggas are tricking. Conversations only black people have. People say taking a woman out on a date isn't tricky. Let me tell you something. Okay, I'm about to settle that shit right here. If the only thing you want to do is fuck a bitch, if I tell you, could you see yourself marrying that female, and you say, oh, hell no, I just want to fuck, and you take her out on a date, nigga, you tricking. Dating is a pre-qualifier to courting. And as far as I'm concerned, if you ain't planning on courting a chick, or you think that you ain't trying to get, I won't even say marriage. If you don't see yourself getting into a long-term relationship with that chick, because you like, oh, that's just a thought, you tricking. Because what the fuck are you taking her on a date for? Like, really? You only take her out. And the question is, she told you, if that woman told you, this date gonna be $150, bitch, nigga, give me that shit, we can fuck today, right now. Would you do it? Or would you say, no, we gotta go on this date? Or I'm not that type of guy, and I didn't know you were that type of girl. No, you wouldn't do that. So y'all can kiss my ass with that bullshit. Y'all can kiss my ass with that bullshit, because that's really the tell right there. If that bitch were to tell you, just give me the money and we can fuck, you would do it. So y'all need to cut the bullshit. No, I really want to eat. The fuck? I was really looking forward to having a conversation with your ass. Y'all better kiss my ass. In that moment, y'all would do it. Y'all may not plan to do it, but in that moment, if you had it, see, like, you could. Some of y'all may be like, look, let's fuck first and then we cash out. Whatever. And some of y'all niggas are dumb enough that y'all would send the cash out and then she leave. Guess the fuck what? That's what she would have did anyway. The only thing you missed out on is your side of the meal. And I'm not saying to not go on dates with people. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is y'all need to stop telling yourself the bullshit. Like, for real. And that's another thing. Y'all got this thing about being an alpha male. Like, nigga, I'm an alpha. Just because a bitch will fuck you don't mean you don't. Just because a female will fuck you for free don't make you no alpha. Y'all really see. Y'all, like, I told, I'm going to start the new term I'm going to come up with is bitch wealth. Because a lot of y'all can be broke as fuck. But if y'all think y'all got women, which, by the way, most of y'all don't be having bad bitches like y'all like to act like y'all do. But if y'all got women, y'all think y'all wealthy. If that ain't some of the most God-centric bullshit, I don't know what is. And my thing is to jump on y'all really about some of these mentalities that y'all be having. I'm not telling y'all what to do or what not to do, but be honest about why you do what you do. And stop putting these, like, isms in your head to justify it. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. I'm not trying to tell you to trick or not trick, but a lot of y'all trick off your time. Black men waste more time with bitches than I would argue any other group. And if you look at time, how much your time is worth, y'all will blow so much time over some shit. Y'all will be in a friend zone for years. for a bitch that, quite frankly, you could have just said, look, bitch, $400 up and down. And if she say no, then you know she ain't trying to fuck you. Cause guess what? If she was open to fucking you for free, she'd be open to it. But if she say flat out no, then that means she want to waste your time. You saved yourself a couple of years in the friend zone. And remember, the friend zone is completely 100% a volunteer army, meaning that shit is 100 and 1-800 your fault. Not a single friend zone situation is a female's fault, because every day, every time you pick up that phone, every time you talk to that bitch, that's a choice you're making. Point, but I don't give a fuck what she told you. I don't care what she told you. I don't care. That's your fault. Damn, that's like that's such a bad diss. That's just a bad diss, but it don't sound as bad, but it really is. And that sounds just like Obsidian. Could you imagine somebody saying something and Obsidian just saying, and somebody say, so what you got to say about that, Obsidian? And Obsidian pauses and be like, how many books have you read in like the last year? Oh my God. Yo, press 1 if that sound like something Obsidian would do. Obsidian be in a debate and he asked some shit. Press 1 if that sound like something Obsidian would do. I'm not saying he wouldn't have nothing else to say, but he just throw that shit out there just to see how the person will respond. And then the dude say, man, like 2. So what? And then Obsidian would just say, you need to work on that. You need to make a goal to say, I'm going to read at least 3 books. So you can add 1 more book and then do an extra book every year. You might be surprised. Do you understand how that would jam some folks up? And here's the thing. That's the beautiful thing about it is, you know, you say some shit like that, their brain is going to freeze for a second because they're going to lie, but they're not going to want to cap. So if they pause for too long, you know they trying to think about what's a good lie. And that's the type of thing that shit would work probably more on a dude. I would probably throw that at a dude rather than a female. But that would jam a lot of these dudes up. I mean, I'm going to see the up and coming Picard season. My problem is not whether people agree with tricking or not tricking. My problem is, I understand why game dudes have an issue with it because obviously they got something to sell. My problem is why dudes that ain't got no incentive with it are worrying about shit. I can tell you right now, that's what I'm worried about. Why dudes be really losing sleep over it. Damn, man. Y'all, man, I don't be having these kind of problems with my channel. Knock on wood. Man, I'm sorry. I feel sorry for y'all, for real. That's some bullshit. Well, Ados, like, it doesn't matter why, but the truth is, Ados has never been, the concept of time freedom is very foreign to Ados black men. Very foreign indeed. Nigga, I don't trick because I don't have a problem running the numbers when it comes to a female. So at the end of the day, I'll just run through the numbers. That's the sales part of me. I came up with I came up through cold calling. So I don't have a problem doing that. So I don't need the trick. If ain't nobody fucking with me, that is what that is. That's me personally, but I understand motherfuckers don't like rejection. So whatever. I didn't say that. I said I don't trick in the United States. Now, as far as sex tourism, because that's also what it's called. Understand something. Just because you can you can go overseas and get women for free doesn't mean you ain't trying to just go ahead and get something sold up. That's not what that means all the time. And see, you all have this thing where you all just can't accept that a guy that'll spend money on a bitch is a guy that can also get a bitch for free. So I'm not really here to argue it with you. Like, for example, if you sit there and you're trying to get girls to get on a fucking boat for a yacht that you paid for, I'm not about to sit here and then fucking try to game every bitch. I don't have that kind of time. And people overseas ain't always got that fucking kind of time. But see, a lot of you all don't understand time. So at the end of the day, you all are just gonna have an emotional argument. You all are just gonna have an emotional argument. Because anybody that says all these dudes go overseas are tricking, I mean, hey, you need to believe that, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm not here to convince you. I'm not here to convince you that's not the case. It's really no point. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. It's an absolute waste of time, and I'm not here to waste it with you. See, I'm at the point where if black people, black men and black women, y'all want to believe what y'all want to believe, go ahead and believe it. Like, y'all will figure that out one way or the other. No, you don't, prime time. You don't. I'm not saying you do. I'm not saying you do. But black men have this thing where see, y'all really believe that. And see, this is how a lot of y'all get hemmed up with kids. Because y'all actually think that these women are just dealing with y'all for nothing. And then when they come and they like PJ Tucker believed that dumb shit. PJ Washington, y'all be really believing that. And then when they finesse what they want out of you, now you're mad. And it may not even be money. It may be they were only fucking with you because they really wanted to get at your friend because your friend got more money than you. And then you're mad. That's the problem. Y'all really be going into this shit like it's the power of who you are. And a lot of y'all base y'all entire manhood on that shit. Y'all entire manhood on that. Like, and that's another thing, dude, too. Like, let's say you do quote unquote trick. Y'all need to stop. Like, the thing about it is people are going to come to those conclusions on their own. Because I'm not gonna lie, a big reason it drives this a lot is a lot of y'all it's like y'all need somebody to validate what you do. I've never understood why y'all go out of y'all way and try to convince somebody that don't respect quote unquote tricking to like it. Why do you even engage with that type of argument? Like, cause y'all do that. Like, for y'all do that with Jap. Y'all will go in there and y'all be like, well, yeah, this is what you should do. This is what you should do. I'm like, why do you even do that? People will figure it out on their own, or they won't. The end. And I'm not gonna act like y'all don't do. I'm not gonna act like these motherfuckers just be going out of their way attacking y'all all the time. A lot of the times, y'all be going out of y'all way to y'all need somebody to justify why y'all do what y'all do. So y'all need like other dudes to tell you it's okay. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Even when it goes overseas, niggas want to argue. Well, you know, they keeping other dudes in the Matrix. Hey, well, if them niggas are dumb enough to stay in there, shout out to Matrix Resurrection, then that's they dumb ass fault. Because the shit is fairly obvious to me. Yep, Queen, we're still talking about tricking. That genuine burning desire, man, please. That like I'm like, please. A lot of these chicks that be fucking y'all don't even like y'all half the damn time. When I mean, remember, they gotta, please. I'm not, see, them motherfuckers have bought into that because when you sell a product for $800, you can put in the marketing, this is how you get a woman to give you genuine burning desire. Them motherfuckers have bought into the marketing. They not tricking. Fresh and Fit is convinced you, don't trick on the bitch, trick on them. And let me give you this course. That's a funny shit when you think of that. That's a funny shit. Let me trade you this ebook or this video that I probably put that shit on my YouTube channel anyway. That's what that is. And I'm not even against selling courses. Well, shit, Diddy tricking on single mothers and shit. If I had, first of all, let's keep this 100. If I had like $1 billion, I wouldn't. What I would have is an info. I call it the Great Gatsby method. I would create an ecosystem that's designed to bring people and bring women into it. So you're talking about parties and stuff like that. That's what I would do. I wouldn't be out here giving money direct payments. I would create an ecosystem that enhances my status. That's what I would do. It wouldn't be so simple as I'm paying for bitches. No, that wouldn't be what I would do. Well, this is not how the conversation originated, Queen. It originated somewhere else, and then it kind of came here. Obviously, PJ didn't have game. But that's the problem. A lot of y'all niggas, y'all want people to justify your thought process, and y'all can't just let people kind of have their opinions and then it be what it is. And so we have a lot of these unnecessary arguments. They didn't really emasculate Picard. They didn't really emasculate Picard. They didn't, and for what I hear, he's gonna be a lot more. I mean, the white boys should calm their ass down soon, because they got the Pike show, which that actor is actually a really good actor, so that show should be solid. So they'll have their show, so they can stop crying about the black woman being the captain of the Discovery. And then the Picard show. But the Picard show is not really what they want. The Pike show is what they want. But Picard was all right. But I'm going to keep it real with you. The Picard shit is like one of those things where you might as well just wait until the whole shit come out. And then you can see it in one shot. I'm going to tell you right now that y'all up here, I'm really not feeling what they did with Lawrence Fishburne and Morpheus. I'm really not feeling that they didn't reach out to Morpheus. Well, primetime, that's goofy. That's goofy. But you do got dudes that they'll go on multiple dates with a female, and then wind up a victim of dinner whoring. And then at the end of the day, that's on them. Me personally, I'll take a chick out on a date once, because there's other values I can get from it. First of all, none of these niggas should be sliding into these, like, none of these dudes should be sliding in these females' DMs. And a lot of these dudes, I'm gonna keep it real with you, they're tricking, which is why they get caught up and exposed. That's why they're being exposed. They're tricking. That's what that is. Oh, well, I'm not. No. You're not getting a second date. No, after date one. Because there's things before the date that's going to happen that is going to give me a gauge as well. We already know. Nowadays, if these females are down, they're down. They're either down or they're not. If they any other bullshit or excuses they come up with, that's a lie. Because these women are fucking somebody. I mean, yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of the trailer. I really wasn't. I refuse to call them the Wachowski dudes. Fuck what you want to say. Them motherfuckers are not good. I've seen a couple of their movies. They're not good. They're not good directors. They are products of Hollywood, and because they're products of Hollywood, they get to shift money around. But the reality is, they're really, no, they're not good. I don't know. I've heard even white boys say Cisco was the best captain. I've heard that more than once. Yeah, Queen Q, because dudes are very emotionally tethered to the tricking thing. They really are. I mean, it's coming on HBO Plus. I'm gonna see it regardless. All right, y'all. This has been great. Make sure y'all get the likes up. Make sure y'all support the Cash App. Of course, academics tricks. Anyway, with that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.